unfortunate event. Hold on a minute, miss. What do you think you're doing there? A policeman shouted from afar, causing Isabelle to panic. She imagined that if she were arrested, she wouldn't stand a chance of surviving prison. So she decided to reverse the roles and become the victim. As the officer approached, she pretended to be defenseless and with a fearful expression said, "It's him! He robbed my brothers and now wants to kidnap me by force." The policeman, upon hearing Isabelle's words, grabbed James by the hand and ordered him to follow. James resisted and began to defend himself. "This is a misunderstanding. I am innocent, sir." Then, turning to Isabelle, he pleaded, "Miss, tell the officer that your brothers are thieves and are exploiting helpless people." Isabelle stood silently, mocking James with various facial expressions while the policeman examined the two unconscious men lying on the ground. At that moment, two burly officers arrived. James, realizing it was futile to continue defending himself, accepted his fate as the policeman commanded. "Take them all to the station. They're all suspects in tonight's case." Approaching Isabelle, the officer warned her, "I'll be watching you wherever you go." Isabelle showed no fear of the officer. Instead, she muttered a curse under her breath and continued, "You mistreat innocent citizens. You're as innocent as a fox in a henhouse." The officers laughed, not bothering to continue the argument. Meanwhile, James decided it wasn't the right time to stir up trouble with the officers, knowing he would only face defeat. He resolved to bide his time until he could get out of jail and confront the town's troublesome criminals. Isabelle then approached one of the officers, lifting her dress to her knees to distract him. "Sir, please be reasonable. I was the one attacked and I'm deeply disturbed by the incident. My brothers are the only ones who can protect me from wicked people. I beg you not to arrest them." She used the same cunning tactics and expressions as she had with James. But this time, the officer noticed her thin, bruised, and battered legs, a result of hunger and the cold. Pitying her, he said, "I understand your situation, but the others will face justice according to the law." As the officer pushed James forward, James pleaded, "Don't you understand what they're doing? You should arrest her, not me. She's part of the scheme. They have organized a whole operation to lure and rob innocent passers-by. Let me go." However, the officers, wielding the authority to detain both the innocent and the guilty, had no intention of listening to James. Their duty was done. The law would handle the rest. Proud of her success, Isabelle slipped away into the dark streets of the city without wasting any time. Meanwhile, Zanina found herself in a dead end, having mistakenly returned to the very spot where Pete, Jack, James, and Isabelle had been. Realizing her mistake too late, she hid behind some barrels, unable to hear what the officers and the others were saying. After some time ensuring the coast was clear, she deemed it safe to emerge from her hiding place. Taking a different route this time, she cautiously walked in search of her way home. As she moved forward, she felt a hand on her shoulder, startling her. Turning around, she was surprised to see Isabelle and asked, "So, you're still free? They haven't arrested you?" Isabelle didn't answer Zanina's question, but commented instead, "I won't lose sight of you. I have the impression that young man recognized you while you paid him no attention." Zanina sighed and looked at Isabelle as if expecting her hostility to turn violent. However, to her surprise, things unfolded differently. "I have an obligation to protect you, and I won't take no for an answer. I don't believe we've been properly introduced. My name is Isabelle." Isabelle waited to hear Zanina's name, but she had other ideas. "Look, I'm tired. I've been through a lot today. I just want to go home and rest." "Home? Do you even know where that is?" "Lucky for you, we live in the same building, 6 Brightman Street, right?" Zanina reached into her pocket to verify the address, but to her dismay, the paper was gone. "I've lost the paper! Where is it? Give it back, you thief. You wouldn't know where I live if you hadn't stolen it. Of course that's your job, right? And you're quite good at it." "Fine, I admit I'm impressed. Now give me the paper and leave me alone." "Are you done accusing me? Don't ask how I know your address, I just do. If you stop your hysterics, I can lead you there right now. Or, if you'd prefer, I can leave you here alone. without any responsibility for what might happen to you. Zanina calmed down and began to think rationally. After a moment, she said, "All right, but on one condition, no more conversation between us." Agreed. Isabelle accepted the condition, and they left the area. They walked in silence until Isabelle suddenly announced, "We have arrived." Before them stood an old, isolated building. Zanina realized it was the one that housed her apartment and hoped for a stay suitable for humans, not rat. "There's a fireplace for those who can afford it, of course," Isabelle added. Upon entering through the creaky door, Isabelle asked Zanina, "Do you have a key?" Zanina couldn't remember if she had a key or where it might be. She answered honestly, "I have no key." Isabelle remained unfazed and offered a solution. "No problem. I'll ask the porter for one." The porter, an elderly man, stood by the main door behind a dirty, faded desk. For his war service, the English government had granted him one of the apartments and paid him a modest wage as a caretaker. However, instead of improving the resident's stay, he slept on a mattress made of old newspapers. "Joseph, wake up!" Joseph, as Isabelle called him, woke and opened his eyes. "Who? What's going on? You again? I told you and your foolish brothers to pay the rent, or I'll throw you out to freeze to death. You're too scared to do that because Jack and Pete threatened to kill you, so you'd better stick to empty threats." Isabelle threatened him without showing any emotion. Joseph, now speaking more calmly, replied, "It's been a year since your last rent payment. Jack and Pete handle the rent. Don't tire me with this. The lady wants her room key. How many times must I say that access is only for those with their own key and—" "Joseph, hurry up. I'll throw you out for your rudeness." Joseph snapped angrily but quickly lowered his tone, recalling the brothers' threats. He then politely addressed Zanina. "What's your name?" "Josephine, sir." Zanina answered softly. Joseph squinted and leaned closer to hear her, but she didn't repeat herself. He grabbed a handful of keys from the desk drawer and handed them to her to try on her door. Zanina accepted the keys and thanked him for his kindness. He warned them not to approach him without returning any unused keys and threatened, "No trouble, or I shall report you to the constables. Understood? Joseph, what you'll do is bring us some soup to our rooms. If you disobey, I'll have Jack and Pete ask why you didn't serve us." Isabelle threatened with a sly grin and a wink. "Are you threatening me?" Joseph asked furiously. "Take it as you will, old man." Before things escalated, Zanina rattled the keys to break the tension, tired of their bickering and the stench of the unwashed porter lingering in the air. She took deep breaths as they ascended the stairs. When they reached her door, she tried one key and successfully opened it on the first attempt. She then asked Isabelle to return the other keys to Joseph, which Isabelle happily agreed to do. Before leaving, Isabelle informed Zanina that she lived in the adjacent room. Zanina paid little attention and bid her goodnight, her mind preoccupied with the danger looming when Isabelle's brothers would be released from prison. "Thank you," Zanina murmured quietly, not expecting Isabelle to hear her, simply to maintain the formalities of politeness, and immediately entered the room. She examined it for a moment and noticed that it was small, but spacious enough for one person. There was a window looking out over acres of land, and in the distance, a forest could be seen. It also had a table with 3 chairs, a bed in the corner, a fireplace, and a chest. How strange, Zanina thought when she saw the chest. However, she didn't have the courage to open it because she was tired and hungry. She lay down to forget her hunger, but it didn't help, as her stomach continued to bother her. After a little while, someone knocked on Zanina's door, but she didn't ask who it was, too afraid. She remained still until she heard a familiar voice. "Open up! I brought you a plate of soup and some bread." Zanina felt relieved when she heard Joseph's voice and opened the door. "It's you!" "Yes, it's me. Who were you expecting? The Prince of Wales?" Joseph placed a tray on the table, while Zanina thought of a way to make him share some information about the neighbors. "So, the neighbors are tough people? Which ones are you talking about?" Jack, Pete. I don't know them, he said quickly and left, closing the door behind him. Zanina thought there must be a serious reason for his reluctance to talk about them, as they certainly weren't the most innocent people in town. On the other hand, she was glad he had brought her food and felt grateful for it. She sat at the table but didn't start eating immediately because she felt she owed someone thanks. She stared at the soup until she remembered what was missing that was preventing her from eating. "The prayer!" she exclaimed. "How could I forget something like that? I was taught to pray before eating." She said a few words of prayer, closing her eyes, and immediately afterwards, nothing stopped her from eagerly devouring the soup and bread. After finishing, she felt something hard pressing against her, and she got up to discover the source of the discomfort. She realized she had been sitting on a book all this time. She took it, placed it on the table, and lay down to sleep, leaving the rest of the exploration for the morning.